want to talk about me, want to talk about I want to talk about number one. Oh my, me, my, what I think, what I like, what I know, what I want, what I see. Yeah, I like talking about you usually. But occasionally I really just want you to get on with the webinar. Please, stop talking about yourself. Hey, it's Robbin and welcome to Creative Freedom. This is your dose of inspiration and education to help you build a noble empire and live an inspired life without selling your soul. Doesn't that feel good? Webinars have become a very powerful tool in the online marketing arena. They're really great for doing two things. They're great lead generation tools. They're also great sales tools. But if you do it wrong, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your business, and for the love of all things holy, you're hurting your audience. Now, I am all for failing fast and getting your feet wet and trying something. So if you're brand new to webinars, I am not trying to discourage you. However, there are 3 things that everyone can do right now today to make their webinars infinitely more enjoyable for your audience and more effective for you, which means they're going to be delivering more of what you want from your audience back to you. Tip 1, please start on time. Within the first 90 seconds of your appointed start time, you should be delivering content to your audience. Why? Because one of the #1 problems that I hear time and again from attendees is how they had to wait around for the host to finally decide that they were going to start sharing when they showed up on time. Your audience has opted in or paid for something that starts at a specific time. And when they show up ready and eager to learn, you do them a disservice by, well, let me wait a few more minutes. We've got some people who are just getting on the call. Can everybody tell me where you're from? No. Here's the truth. People showed up to be on time for you and what you have to offer. They're investing their time in you. You owe it to them to deliver back. Meet their investment with yours. So don't wait for stragglers, because then you're rewarding the stragglers instead of rewarding the people who are eager and interested right from the beginning. I've said it before, you train people how to treat you based on what they come to expect from you and what you come to accept from them. So if you continue to accept people coming in late all the time to all of your webinars, then that's what they're going to do. Here's the other piece to that. The people who showed up on time are ready. They're eager. They're hungry to get what you have to offer, and you're making them wait for people who don't even have the decency and respect to show up on time. I hear you say, but this is my first webinar and there's nobody on the line. Shouldn't I wait around? No, because if you wait 5, 10, or 15 minutes for somebody to show up, #1, there's no guarantee they're going to. And #2, if you're just starting 15 minutes in, they know that there's nobody else in the line but them. Start your recording and start going promptly right on time. #2, when you talk about yourself, don't do it for 25 minutes. You've got 5 minutes at the beginning of that webinar to hook your audience and get them ready to learn from you and get excited about what you have to offer. Let's be blunt. That's why they're there. They don't care about you. They care about the results that they're going to get because of the time that they're spending with you. If you're going to talk for 15 minutes about you, and how awesome you are, and your people haven't learned anything, they're turning away. You want to think about this like a TV show. If they rolled all the credits at the beginning of the TV show, you wouldn't watch it because you'd wait and skip ahead and watch what's after that so that you could watch the show. That's what you're doing every time you talk about how awesome you are at the beginning of your webinar. It's like letting the credits roll early. Instead, if you take the time to talk about yourself throughout the webinar as it relates to what you're teaching, then you can also sprinkle in leads and seeds about whatever the offer is at the end of the webinar to keep people engaged and keep hooking people to come and stay and keep engaged and continue on the journey that you're taking them through on the webinar itself. I know that there are people out there who train that if you do that for the first 15 minutes, then the stragglers will come in. But that goes back to point number one. You need to start on time. There's enough stuff that you can do in the marketing back end to get those stragglers that miss the first 15 minutes. Remember, all roads lead to the ultimate destination, which is the end of the webinar. And anything that you can do to keep your people on longer is going to be more beneficial for them because they're going to get more results. It's also going to be beneficial for you because you're going to end up with more clients, more leads, and more money, which is exactly what you've been looking for, yes? Okay then. The third tip is just as important as the other two, and that is to rehearse. You need to practice your presentation because whether you want to admit it or not, like every presentation, a webinar is a performance. If you don't know what your next slide is, you haven't rehearsed. If you don't know how to advance the slides, if you don't know how to swap the screens so that your people can see you and then see the screenshots, then you haven't done your part as the business owner and the presenter to make a compelling presentation that an audience wants to see and stay engaged with. I don't care what the platform is, you need to spend time practicing with the platform. Set up a test run. Get familiar with how the interface works. Get familiar with how your technology works, your microphone, your headset, your web camera. Have a friend help you. Get an accountability buddy to help you. The point of the matter is, if you're investing your time to generate something that you want a bunch of people to come see, you're not just going to show up and wing it. Imagine if you were at Carnegie Hall and you had booked this place and filled it solid full of people and they were all coming to see you. Would you walk up with a stack of note cards and go, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am here today to give you my presentation. It's really great. But before we do that, let's talk about me." It's like a really bad Toby Keith song.
I want to talk about me.
Don't let that be your webinar legacy, especially in the era of recorded video. While it's true that a lot of people will catch the replay instead of showing up live, it's even more important that you're on task during a recorded session because people will skip ahead, and if they get bored or feel like they're skipping too much, they'll just skip you altogether and go find something else. We want your enthusiasm. We want your great stories. We want to feel inspired and educated and entertained while we're learning whatever it is that you have to share with us. If it feels like you're wasting my time, if it feels like I'm watching paint dry, I'm going to click away and you've lost a potential customer. I'm not saying you have to put on an Academy Award-winning show. I am saying that it's important to realize that you need to be prepared. If you've got a script, rehearse it. If you've got notes, rehearse them. Run through it. Time it. Make sure that you're staying within 5 to 10 minutes of the time you said you would end. Because if you're running over, once again, you're disrespecting the time of the people who have come and invested their lives, pieces of their lives they will never get back, in you. Believe me, the extra time that you spend familiarizing yourself with all the technology that you're using and running through your presentation to make sure you start and end on time is going to go miles towards building rapport with customers who want to do business with you, who want to have more of you in their life because you are so awesome. Practice. Start on time. Help your customers get to the results so that they'll stick around to learn more about you. This is where knowing, liking, and trusting comes into play. It's not about liking you. It's about trusting that you're going to deliver the goods and that you know what you're talking about. So give it to them and do it in a way that's professional. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, those 3 tips are going to help you boost the results that you're getting in the work that you're already doing. And bonus tip, if you are recording your presentation, please edit it mildly. All that stuff at the beginning, let me start and check and do all my volume controls. Can you hear me now? Cut that stuff off the beginning and the end. Make sure we've got a clean video to watch, because if you don't, the same thing applies. We're going to scroll ahead, and if we're spending too much time scrolling, we're just going to walk away, and we're going to miss out on whatever great nuggets you had to share because we didn't want to have to sift through and try and find a needle in a haystack. So now let me hear from you. What are your webinar horror stories? Where did you see somebody really hit it out of the park, and what made it so great for you to be a part of that webinar? Share your comments below, and let's be a rising tide for everyone. If you like this video and want to be the first to see more just like it, then subscribe to my channel and share me around with your friends because you should just do it. And there's always more where this came from for inspiring songs, stories, and tools to help you build a noble empire and live an inspired life. Come on and see what's shaking over at LisaRobbinYoung.com. You know you want to.